Call Oliver Springs City Council to order for February 1st, 2024. Roll call, Joe.
Robert Miller,
Here.
Jeff Bass,
Here.
Kenny Brown,
Here.
Teresa Van,
Here.
Larry Holland.
Here.
We got 5 out of 6 with 1 vacant ward. We have a quorum.
Mr. Joe, will you lead us in the word of prayer, please?
Our Father, we approach thy throne of grace, admiring your power and your authority and your love and your forgiveness, all the things that make you a God of which we have trouble understanding, except what you reveal to us in your holy word. We pray that as we discuss business tonight, that our actions, our work can bring honor and glory to you and provide the necessary services for these citizens. We pray for our nation in this election year that you would give us men and women in leadership positions that worship you and follow you and study your word and seek to implement your precepts as you have set out in your word. We pray for the hotspots of the world in China and Ukraine and the Middle East and Israel. We pray that the Holy Spirit would manifest itself in the hearts of all those involved, where that they would see and feel and hear your love and work through the differences in order to bring peace once again to the world. We pray for our servicemen and women at home and abroad, the first responders, the policemen and firemen and all that are involved to help us keep health and safety. We pray for them.
Yes.
We ask all these things in thy Son's name. Amen.
Amen. Attention, salute, pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May I have a motion to approve the minutes from January the 4th?
So moved.
So we have a motion, do we have a second? Second. Second by Mr. Brown. Any discussion? No discussion, roll call, Joe?
Robert Miller,
Yes, sir.
Jeff Bass,
Pass.
Kenny Brown,
Yes.
Teresa Van,
Yes.
Larry Holland.
Yes.
Passed. 401.
This time, if there's any delegation from the citizens who would like to come forward and speak, please just state your name. Come to the podium, state your name. Reverend, you coming up today? No? Okay, sorry.
It's okay. Thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am.
My name is Julia Daniel. I live at 116 Hopper Road here in Oliver Springs. And I first would like to give a brief overview of the Mamie Carmichael School Organization and the Tri-County African American Culture Museum. First, Mamie Carmichael School Organization was established in 2012. I especially would like to thank our Judge Van Hook, for your support in getting us established as an organization. We are a nonprofit organization, 501c3. Our mission is to preserve the heritage of the African American community, promote education, and support the development of the Carmichael Park in Oliver Springs. The Carmichael Park was last location of the Oliver Springs Colored School. Sorry, but I'm gonna pull it out real quick. Okay, anyway, this is our school years ago. Okay? The Carmichael Park was dedicated in 2015. We want to thank the town of Oliver Springs for all your hard work in developing the Carmichael Park. Also, we would like to thank some of the old school group committee that's here tonight. Everyone is not here, but I especially would like to thank Mary Brooks, Ron Fritz, Marcella Curd, Beatrice Fritz, Betty Ann Knauf, and Calvin Knauf, who is here tonight. They have worked over 30-plus years in trying to keep the park and the location of the school, and for that, we say thank you very much to Calvin, who is here tonight. The Carmichael Park, as well as the Mamie Carmichael School, is named after Miss Mamie Carmichael. Couldn't bring all my pictures, but anyway, this is Miss Mamie Carmichael here. Okay, Miss Mamie Carmichael was born in Bristol, Tennessee in 1902, and she died in 1982. Miss Mamie's career began in 1924, and she taught for over 40 years. Miss Mamie taught at least 3 generations in the Oliver Springs area. She also taught in Morgan County, which was part of the Oakdale. She taught in Rockwood, and she taught children here in Oliver Springs, the Anderson and Roane County kids, over 30 years. Miss Mamie retired in 1966. In 2018, the Carmichael organization purchased 5,000 square feet from the Beach Park Church. This was part of the old Tri-County Mall, which is located at 1069 East Tri-County Boulevard. The museum is located behind the large flag and near the huge cross. The museum is an outstanding location which can help promote tourism in the town of Oliver Springs. I'm not going to be too long, if that's okay. Thank you. All right. The museum will have a large banquet and conference room that can seat up to 200 people. We have a resource room, a multi-purpose room, archive, a church room, and a large kitchen area that can accommodate enough people for a large banquet. There are 17 showcases that focus on educational, social, and economic welfare of the people during the early years, and will also connect the dots to include current events and noble accomplishments, such as the Tuskegee Airmen. We also have a lady here with us today, Miss Charlene Webster, who was one of the first blacks in Oak Ridge to start her own beauty shop, and now she has been featured in the East Tennessee Historical Society newsletter, and is also in the exhibit of the museum. And in the museum, it also has a part of the Oliver Springs Museum that shows her exhibit. So we say thank you very much. Okay, the Tri-County African American Culture Museum will focus on the road. I love this sign. Okay, it's going to focus on the road to freedom. It is the past, present, and the future. In the museum, you will find family history, how the families have survived, and many success stories of family within the Tri-County area. You will see information regarding slavery brought to the Tri-County area, slave schedule, slave bills of sale, and information confirming that Roane County was part of the Underground Railroad. We do have documents, but we've not been able to locate where the place is. But Carson Newman, in a workshop they conducted, they had Roane County was part of the Underground Railroad, and I did talk to Robert Bailey, the Roane County historian, and he said he cannot find it either, but I think if we still keep searching, we might find it. Also, you will see the history of the Jim Crow years. Getting close now. Okay. You will also see the Civil War Trail marker at the Carmichael Park, but we also will have information in the museum on the Fighting for Freedom. And this is dealing with Moses Neff. And Moses Neff is this ancestor to Calvin Neff. So we do have information on the Civil War Trail, and we have 2 of these in Oliver Springs. And so that's part of our history. Okay, almost closing. Okay, the museum, we're going to be honoring coal miners, show their family history, and we will be comparing the miners that went into coal mining, and we have some of the family members that their fathers worked at Bull Run, and so they're going to show the difference in digging the coal and then researching it. So we have quite a bit of information on coal mining, and we've also identified over 80 African American coal miners in the Tri-County area. Okay, I'm going to cut down so I won't go too long. But one thing about the coal miner family, and I did not bring the article, but I always like to bring it. It deals with my cousin, who is Dr. Larry Boulware, who attended the Oliver Springs County School. And he wrote an article years ago, The Will to Succeed. He said that his mother was a maid. She brought home secondhand clothes for her children. His father was a coal miner, but he was a doctor. He married a doctor, Valerie Boulware, and today one of his daughters is Dr. Ebony Boulware. And the reason I say that, their descendants are right here from Oliver Springs, but you can go on the internet and pull her up and read all about her history. She finished Duke. She worked at Johns Hopkins. Then she went back to Duke and was there working. And then later on, she is now currently a dean at Wake Forest University School of Medicine and chief science officer. And the reason I bring it up, I think it's real important because Dr. Ebony Boulware was on MSNBC in December of 2023 regarding a study on health and other issues. So I think she's written several articles in the Journal of American Medical Association and other publications. But this is part of our history here in Oliver Springs. Her great-grandfather was the coal miner, and he didn't want his children to go into coal mining. And so they really pushed education. So I think I'm going to close on that, but I will say we will be having soul food. And we do have tickets as February the 11th. And if anybody would like to purchase a ticket, you're more than welcome. But we do have a traveling museum that we've been going to schools if someone asks us to come to schools. And the museum is open by appointments only at this time, but we're hoping the museum will be open soon in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak? If so, come forward and state your name. Thank you, Miss Daniel. So this is, February is African American History Month. And so I don't know how many folks know this, but literally the first item of business when I became mayor, we passed a resolution on this council that we would honor and recognize Juneteenth as a paid holiday for our African American employees. And that, I know we only have 2 African American employees. Hopefully we'll have more in the future. But from this mayor, I wanted to make sure that we honored our proud heritage and our community. So just know that you all always have my support, as well as Mr. Jenkins. We were planning something in the works. I don't know, kind of putting everybody on the spot right here, but our next council meeting, we would love to have it at the museum. If you all would allow that, if Joe doesn't see why we couldn't, as long as it's announced publicly and to let everybody know that,
I'd say it'd be okay.
I mean, I don't know why we couldn't, so kind of putting everybody on the spot, but we would love to honor our community. So, and I believe actions speak louder than words. Also, let you all know, me and Corey and Chief, I met with CUB this week out at Mamie Carmichael Park about getting electricity ran over to the pavilion. We've also had discussions with the International Electrical Brotherhood about wiring the pavilion up with lights and electrical outlets and a fan. So that's hopefully in the works. We're trying. So just I wanted you all to be aware of that. So thank you again, Ms. Daniel. Thank you for all that you all do for our community and have done and will continue to do. So with that, also I just want to give some real quick updates. I know we're working on the flags on the telephone poles to honor our veterans. We met with CUB, myself and Chief Laxton this week about obtaining permission to use the poles. Initially, they told us no, we could not. However, after meeting with them, we were asked for a second reconsideration, shall we say, and so hopefully they'll be getting back with us with the approval for that. So it's kind of on hold right now, waiting their approval. So they have a pretty strict policy about not allowing poles to be used for other than like Christmas decorations. So, but we're working through that. Also want to touch on the snow response, right? Snowmageddon, 2 weeks ago, 10 inches of snow. I feel in our town and towns throughout the South, we're not equipped for 10 inches of snow. Okay, we have one snowplow, one salt truck, one backhoe, actually two if you count the one at the water sewer plant, and one skid steer. We have a 4-man crew. And when the snow hit, because I am a man of action. I don't sit back, I don't play defense, I play offense. And I knew that our guys were going to be overwhelmed. And then they were, and they worked, all of them well over 100 hours each. It was incredible. And I got on my skid steer. Did you all know there's 139 roads in Oliver Springs? Did you know that there are 54 miles worth of roads in Oliver Springs? I didn't. I had no clue. Until 2 weeks ago, I had no clue. And so I jumped on my skid steer and I asked Rusty, who is the street supervisor, what do you need me to do? What do you want me to do? He's like, I don't know, just start clearing roads. So that's what I did. Started clearing one road at a time. And by Saturday, we had 85% of the roads in this town cleared. Is that a perfect response? No. If you go back to 1993, the blizzard, when we had 24 inches, do you realize we had 3 snowplows in 1993? And in 2024, we have 1. We did incredible, right? And I'm super proud of the effort that Corey, along with Chief Laxton, Rusty, Stephen, Tony, Tom, just behind the scenes working to coordinate stuff. When I say we have some of the hardest workers, we really do. And I realize it's their job, but working 16, 18, 20 hours, I don't know that's in anybody's job description, but they did. And I'm really proud of the effort that we put forward. So I just want to say that, and I hate to mention this, but I am a dollars and cents kind of guy, okay? That snow response cost the town almost $25,000 between the salt that was used, the man hours, the diesel and the fuel. And what wasn't counted in that was the 50 hours that I used on my personal skid steer at a cost of almost $5,000 that was donated to the city, right? I didn't write an invoice, say, hey, you owe me this. No. If it were to happen again tomorrow, I'll do it again. And I love my town, I love my people, and I love to serve. Period, plain and simple. All that being said, I will hush up. Corey.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Snow and ice event from January 15th to January the 23rd. There's 71 tons of salt used, a material cost of $7,845. 316 man-hours worked, labor cost of $11,060. And equipment cost, which was just your 1-ton truck, your 1 4-wheel drive backhoe, and the 1 Bobcat skid steer, $5,645. Your total cost as a result of your snow event was $24,550. You have that on your handout there as well. The street department paving jobs remaining. Spots on Tri-County Boulevard, Breeden Lane, Henley Circle, 2nd Norway, and Green Street. Potholes patched since the snow has melted, 27. Again, that's since the snow has melted. Announcements, the library, Larissa's last day was January the 25th. So we do have a library director position open. Spoke with Liz Schreck, she's with the Ocoee River Regional Library System, which is who operates the Roane County libraries. She may be aware that kind of the process was your Roane County Library Board is the one that will make that hire. They will make the final hire. Now, we'll go through the interviews, post the job description, stuff like that. We will recommend who we think would be best for that library position. They'll make the hire. Carmichael Park, the handout that you have, that'll be on the letterhead too. Work to be completed, Carmichael Park 2024 through 2025. Electrical supply through Clinton Utility Board upgrades, new poles, wiring, and a transformer. Electricity ran to the existing pavilion where fans, lighting, and multiple outlets are to be installed. Tree trimming and removal along the roads and parking. Road upgrades, there's been 20 ton of gravel that was actually delivered today to fix the roads. Drain and ditch work to route stormwater away from the roads in the ball field. Frost-proof water spigot to be installed at the pavilion. New gate installation. We talked about those gates using natural boundaries. You got the hills on the woods on one side, you got the drainage on the other. And fixing the park entrance, paving the junction of Fritz Road and the park. And finally, the new Carmichael Park sign would be installed. Your second handout was the Soul Food Sunday. Again, that was Sunday, February 11th, 2024, from 12 to 3 at the DAV. Plates are $25, and I believe they are selling those tickets before. Is that correct?
Yes,
Okay.
we have them now.
Okay. So if you look at the bottom, there you have your menu. Again, that was the Soul Food Sunday, February 11th.
Thank you.
Financials. We'll pull your bank statements first. Your general fund, you currently have $280,508.03. Your drug fund, $17,972.78. City judge account, $3,057.41. And then your HRA, this is for the general side, $1,540. Then your gas fund, this is your state street aid tax, this is where that money goes. Currently at $206,230.88. Financials, if you want to look at your budget first for the general. Again, property taxes, you start receiving those starting in September, October. January, February should be your big months in receiving property taxes. The rest of those months, you're pretty much operating off the sales tax. So your revenues for December is $323,429.90. Any anomalies I had highlighted? And the ones I have highlighted for December, there were miscoding issues. Some of those will be under the capital instead of the actual line item. You want to jump to your last page? Total expenses for December, $234,057. Total revenues, $394,484, giving you $160,428 revenue over expense. So as of December the 31st, 2023, you are operating in the black now on the general fund and your water fund. In reconciliation, your cash basis, you should have, well, you increased it from 503,000 to 664,000. Again, these are December numbers. Any question about the general fund? Second handout will be your State Street aid. Again, you receive roughly $9,500 each month. Big expenditure is your street lights. That's $4,210.31. That usually averages that per month. Giving you a total expenditure, well, there's one big one on there. It's $1,461.57. That was your asphalt. Now in January, again, we replenished the salt. We ordered 50 ton. That's about $110 a ton. So you're roughly going to use your budget number right there, 5,500. You'll hit it pretty close. So your current fund balance for your State Street is $205,721.13. That's pretty close to what you have in your bank statement as well. Drug fund might be your last one. Revenues for December, $3,203.22. It's a capital purchase there under the capital outlay. The chief will probably be able to tell you more about that one. If you got a question on that.
That was the assistance with the THSO grant to buy the message board, and we have that here tonight for y'all.
That's the difference, chief.
Yes, so the grant paid $7,450 of it, and we paid the remainder for the $9,500 for it.
Yeah. You may have any questions about the financials? That is all I have.
Mr. Miller, before we get to you, there was one item that I failed to address. And not that, as mayor, that I have millions of dollars laying around to go buy stuff, because I don't. However, I know that our town isn't in the position financially that we need to be to go and purchase certain items. So Corey brought to my attention a truck that I went and purchased for by the time I paid for hauling, to have it hauled down, $35,000 for a truck for my personal business that does have a snow plow on it and a salt spreader. So going forward, when our town has an event, whether it's 2 or 3 inches, whether it's 4 to 6 inches, or whether it's 10 inches, we will not be in the same predicament that we were 2 weeks ago. When I say I'm invested in this town, I don't know many other mayors who's going to spend $35,000 of their own money to go purchase something to help their town Because here's a harsh reality. 62% of Americans, 62% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. I received multiple text messages, calls, and messages from people, Jason, we have got to get to work. Jason, I have got to earn a paycheck. Jason, I don't know if I'm going to pick between water bill, electric bill, or food. When you call EMS, you expect EMS to show up at your house, do you not? Right? And so a good friend of mine, John Mark Whitby, 43 years old, passed away of a heart attack during the snow. And when his wife called 911, they couldn't show up. Right? Not in my town. Not on my watch. Second Norway Lane was one of the first lanes that I cleared. It was very difficult to clear, may I add. And a wheeled machine with no chains, because I knew that there could be a possible medical emergency on that road. I didn't share that with you all or anyone else, except Chief and Corey. I love my town. And I want to see what's best for her going forward. Mr. Miller.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to personally thank each and every city employee that got out here and worked
Yes.
day and night for, I know, 4 days straight.
Yes.
I want to thank each and every one of them for the time and dedication that they put in, and I really do appreciate that. I know people fuss at you, say you're not doing my street. Now, let me tell you, I seen them scrape them, and I seen them freeze over.
Yeah.
I seen 1.5 inches of ice, kept that road over, and it was solid. You can't touch it when it freezes. You just gotta let Mother Nature and some salt work its rhythm. So,
Hey, but did we give up though, Rusty? No, we didn't.
I don't know. Yeah,
We kept going. So,
but I would like to thank each and every one of them for that.
thank you, Mr. Miller. Mr. Bass? Oh, I'm sorry. Were you finished?
I had a few things here I was gonna ask you about.
Yep.
Corey, somebody decided they need the gates off of the bridge at Midway. When it floods, well, there's no gates there no more to close.
Oh, wow.
They're both gone.
Chief, did you know that?
Both sides.
I did not until he
On
told me
this
to
side.
me.
We still have the two on, the east side. But the west side, they took them off right there at the bridge. Both the gates are gone.
Did not know that.
Yeah. I didn't until we got the high water 3 weeks ago. And I found out they weren't there no more. So sometimes I'll stop and pull them too. If I see it coming up into the curve, I'll stop and close them myself, so. But those are gone.
Mr. Miller. So I was informed the street department removed both of those gates, and they moved it back to Fowler due to the buses not being able to turn around if the gates closed. So they moved it to give prior warning at Fowler Street.
Yeah, that one is, but we had to sit right there at the bridge.
He said he took those down because of that one right there.
Well, see, they still go around that one at Fowler and go right across the bridge, right into the water. I witnessed one do it. He couldn't see that water, it's 2 foot deep standing in the road. But he went right across the bridge, right down into it.
We talked about putting caution lights on all those gates too, even on Airport Road.
Yeah, they probably need to be marked.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I know the stoves were gone. And I would like to give recognition to Larissa Walker for almost 21 years of service to the town. I really hate to see her go, but she decided that, she had better things, to do, so. And I've seen her, grow at that library, and even though she didn't go to school for it, she learned it, and with some help. But I'd like to see some kind of recognition given to her for almost 21 years of service.
Okay.
I I was gonna ask Corey, we used to have a brine tank at the garage, and we had a brine trailer with a spreader tank on it.
So the tank is still there. It's not still there?
Rome County kinda got it.
Oh, they did? Okay, sorry. So Roane County supplied us with it, Roane County Highway Department.
Right.
When did they get that?
Last year,
Okay.
the tanks that we had on the trailer fell apart.
The trailer did?
The tanks that was on it fell apart. And Rome County just used our shop as a hub to fit it up here.
Yeah.
They no longer needed it, so they quit supplying it and they can't got it.
We can make our own brine facility for under $15,000.
Yeah. We've discussed that recently.
And it'd be right and done the right way. Because I know a person that personally told me they would come and help.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay. I'll get with you tonight.
so.
So one other thing on top of that is I've been working with City of Oak Ridge on an interagency agreement for any type of equipment that they don't use on snow and ice events like this. We've got word the last time that they'd had, I know, 6 or 7 of their dump trucks and blades out. Well, there was 3 or 4 tons of snow blade trucks still sitting there and didn't get used. So we reached out to them about, like I said, the interagency agreement. So any equipment they don't use, we provide the labor, where we can utilize that stuff, where we don't have to go out and buy something.
Right. Oh, there's one more thing here. And I ask you this because, I know that it was being worked on and I forgot about it till I found some notes the other day I was going through. Have you reached out to the state anymore about them using us for a hub for salt?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, I have.
we
Just-
have.
Yes, and right now, Rocky Top is they're all in on Rocky Top. And until Nashville tells them no, then we're a no.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, before Rocky Top was denied.
Correct.
Working with them.
Yeah.
That's, we were in at that point. But evidently, they had new leadership coming up there, and that's where they're,
Correct.
and it's all around the interstate.
And it's right there
Having
at
that exit.
75, yeah, having them 2 exits right there.
Yeah.
I understand that. That's all I got, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. Mr. Bass?
Hey, I'd like to thank all the city employees and our mayor for all the hard work they done during this, as you call it, the snow game. It kind of caught everybody by surprise. I apologize for the people for not being here for a little bit. Some personal things come around, but that's over with. That's all I have at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Bass. Mr. Brown?
I also would like to thank our employees who did a fine job, best we could do with what we had. And, my advice to everybody is stay at home, but you can't do that. But anyway, I would thank all of them and the hard work. And, other than that, that's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Ms. Manmo?
I was not able to be at the last meeting. I was ill, and I want to say that I completely concurred with council's vote to raise the pay for those employees who got the pay raises. I completely would have voted for that as well. And I also want to say that I have had the privilege of being at the Mamie Carmichael Museum. It is beautiful. It's very well done. The exhibits are very tasteful, and it was just a privilege to be there. I've actually been there twice, and was actually just got a personal tour one day. Happened to be walking, and the gentleman who was overseeing the work gave me a tour, and I was just so happy to see that. I look forward to hopefully having a council meeting out there. It'd be wonderful.
Thank you, Ms. Van Hook. Mr. Hall?
I agree with the snow clearing, especially downtown area. It looked real good. Be the hilliest part. I even seen some brave 70-plus your old neighbors get right out in it, drive right on. And, attended the planning commission meeting, which used to be on years ago, and it's always slow. Last two I went, it's good to see some growth and stuff coming that
For sure.
really gives some promise. That we start to get interest in other people.
Thank you, Mr. Holland. Chief Laxton.
I just want to start off, I apologize for bringing so much to you tonight. I didn't realize we were going to be so busy tonight. The first thing I want to talk to you about is an employee's come up off of probation, Miss Jada Allen. I want to introduce her to you. She needs to come off probation. However, we do have one thing to declare on her. I also need an approval if she does come off probation on the nepotism policy. Miss Allen started with us part-time, got her training in before she was offered a full-time position. We contacted the mayor and let him know that she is the daughter of one of my sergeants, David Allen. She's done a great job. She went through the interview process and become full-time. We've not found any conflicts. It's worked well, being a father-daughter dynamic, not any other kind of dynamic. So at this time, I kind of want to introduce you to her and, seek your approval for that.
Hello, I'm Jada Allen. Honestly, I've really enjoyed this position. I've enjoyed it a lot more than I believed I did, or I believed I would. I joined because I was already a city employee. I am a first responder. It's going on 2 years now for the fire department. And I joined because I wanted to be able to see the other sides of the emergency services. I wanted to see just what all goes into it behind the scenes instead of being on a scene, and it is very different. I believe that it has challenged me in ways that I didn't believe it would, and I think I am better because of it, because of this position, and I'm really grateful that I was able to have this opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Make a motion, second.
Second.
Any discussion?
Question, will her dad be her boss?
No, sir. So at this point, David Allen is a day shift supervisor and she is on night shift.
Will it remain that?
11-7?
No, we're 7 to 7 on
7 to
both. So it's either 7A to 7P or 7P to 7A.
Are you comfortable that that's fine, but could you foresee an issue where they would both be on the same shift?
No. So the way it works is once we're full staff, we have floaters for night shift and day shift when we have openings for vacation, sick, things of that nature. There's not any risk of anyone in the day shift area and the night shift area commingling. So there wouldn't be an issue with that. With dispatch being a separate division, they report to Captain Owens. It's not underneath our, patrol sergeants. So she is not in a chain of command with, her.
She's dispatched then.
Correct.
Yes.
See, if he's working day shift and she's dispatching day shift, she still doesn't report to him.
Oh, she's on night
I'm
shift.
on that shift.
I know that, but if she's working day shift, she reports to her supervisor, which won't be her father, because he's out in the field.
Yes.
Am I thinking right?
Yeah, Captain Owens is over our communications division. It reports to him. So any kind of issues, they have a supervisor, which is our TAC, Laura Pope. So they bring their concerns through her, and then she goes to Captain Owens. If there's something on shift, being it's nighttime, it would, be one of supervisors like Laura Pope
Yeah.
or, Captain Owens.
Does this help your dispatch shortness, or you still need another?
No, this will have us full staffed in dispatch, and that was the reason we kind of started with the part-time dispatchers, because they're already trained up, and they can, basically, move right over into a full-time position. They're already trained, and we're not missing any, open shifts that way.
Bless you. All right. Motion, second. Discussion. Roll call, Joe.
Robert Miller,
Yes, sir.
Jeff Bass.
Yeah.
Kenny Brown,
Yes.
Bruce Van,
Yes.
Terry Alden,
Yes.
passed.
Good job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next thing was the activity reports. Do we have any questions on any of those that we presented?
Looks like you were busy.
We stay that way. One thing that I do, under recommendation from Captain Owens, one of the things he has started preparing, and especially with us now having an SRT team we're going to talk about in a moment, he is going to start giving y'all updates as far as in training, which hours, what they're training on, what the officers are receiving, and where we're at on our monthly and yearly training hours. The next possible lengthy issue we have is in our general orders that y'all passed a few years back, is we have our annual review, looking at laws that change, looking at the issues that change, recommendations from the federal level and from the state Association of Chiefs of Police. We have some policies that we need to get approved. We have 7 new total policies to add, and then 9 that need revisions. I don't know how you want to proceed with those, if you want to do a blanket approval, or if you want to go through those individually.
Question. Can we put this one off till next, meet the chief so I can finish up on the new ones? I'm
Yeah.
about halfway through them now, so,
That's not a big problem.
okay.
Yeah, this is one of those things where we have to annually look at it. If y'all have any questions, you know, they're quite lengthy, there's a lot of paper, and we were looking at, you know, at least 200 copies per person. And so that was one of those things where, when I discussed it with the mayor, whether it be, you know, if you want to meet with me individually, I can go over it. If you want to do it tonight, if you want to do it on your own accord, like Mr. Miller requested, I have no problem. This is one of those things that just needed to be changed. It's not an emergency that needs to be done tonight.
Okay, I appreciate that.
No problem. Next thing that you had is on the message board, you've seen the expenditure out of the drug fund. So through the THSO grant that y'all approved, we purchased a message board. We have it out here tonight, so after the beer board meeting, if you want to come out and see a demonstration of it, we have that. Next, I know Ms. Van Hook had asked a while back on all of the SRT equipment that was purchased with the VCIF grant. We actually have all the officers issued that equipment, and we had our first activation the other night. We had a scenario where we had a very dangerous man that was wanted in Oliver Springs. We was contacted by Knoxville to apprehend. Through surveillance with the U.S. Marshals, we were able to learn that there was a 3-month-old child in the room with him. We were able to put all this equipment to use, and it was probably the best outcome we could ask for. No use of force was needed. He was taken into custody without incident. It helped a lot for that, because we did not see a good outcome for this situation. And with this equipment, the way the officers have been training, they've done a fantastic job.
Was it a learning experience for the department too?
Definitely, having beside us, we had, a total of 3 teams. We had not only our SRT team, but we had Anderson Counties and the U.S. Marshals. So between the 3, they were all able to, get intel. They weren't perfectly together, come up with a very safe scenario. We had to kick it around just a little bit, and we was able to, use it, and it worked out perfect. Didn't hear nothing but, praises for our team and the way they handled it, and they were very impressed.
Good job.
Yes, very.
When was this, Chief, when was this?
2 days ago.
2 days? 2 days ago?
Yes.
So all that equipment really has paid off.
Extremely. I mean, can't get into the tactics right now, but it's something I'd probably discuss. But a lot of those items we've never had, and by being able to purchase this stuff, we was able to walk through it like it was nothing.
Awesome.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you. Thank you.
Chief Bell?
I'll be brief tonight. 2 of the items I gave you guys before the council meeting was just the monthly report that should have been in the packet last month as well. If you got any questions on that, feel free to ask me and stuff. But the main item I got tonight is I need approval to accept $25,450 from the state of Tennessee for the volunteer firefighter equipment and training grant. We put in for roughly about $61,000, was able to at least get a portion of it. What this grant will go towards is sets of turnout gear, and roughly looking at about 7 sets that we'll be purchasing with it.
we'll try to get every bit of money out of it we can before we don't have any left.
I'll make the motion.
Mr. Bass makes the motion, second. Second. We have 2 seconds simultaneously. Mr. Brown, Ms. Van Hook. Any discussion?
How many sets of turnout gear do we need?
Do we need? We replace it every 10 years, so it's kind of on a cycle. Right now, we're 5 sets down, 2 sets that need to be replaced because you're proper fitting for the people. So this will get one portion of that and get us up to kind of where we're cycling out like we should have. Held off right after COVID because the price of turnout gear skyrocketed. And so we've held off, prices kind of leveled out a little bit, but we're looking at roughly almost $4,000 a set of gear, so, and it's gotta be replaced every 10 years. So that's where we're at with that.
Are we back up any kind of figures on people that want to take the training?
We're at 24 members and that's holding pretty steady right now.
Pretty steady.
And we really need 30, you said?
30 is the ideal because of shifts
Yeah.
and availability, and 30 is my cap, what we've set years ago. But that's just to try to get everybody's availability and stuff.
So these young people or high school kids or none?
No.
We still not getting any
No.
out of high school?
Nope. Your average age right now in the department's roughly about 41. And you've got a couple that's around the early 20s. I got 3 eager people that are young that are getting training, but you know, the cycle of a volunteer firefighter. You'll get them in at 18, they'll be there till about 21, they'll start getting a family, they'll disappear, about 35 they'll come back, maybe. Usually it's closer to about 50. So
We still pay to train them, right? We shall.
we pay to pay per call and they get a monthly or quarterly stipend for their training.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Is this a non-matching grant?
Non-matching grant, so it's all, whatever we get, what we get.
So is this all you need right now? I mean, how do you feel about the fire department?
So right now, yes, and the reason I say yes is because I've got another grant out there that I just applied for today. That's another replacement grant, and that'll put us at half. I try to keep most of our stuff on a replacement cycle for that purpose. The AFG process just opened up, so the other major items that we're going to try to replace, which is all of our fire hose, will come up on this next grant. So I try to do grants for most of the major purchases.
Good.
Let us know if you need something.
Yes.
I would.
All right, motion, second, discussion. Final call, roll call.
Robert Miller,
Yes, sir.
Jeff Bass.
Yes.
Kenny Brown.
Yes.
Lisa Van Hook.
Yes.
Terry Hall.
Yes.
Pass.
That's all I have.
Thank you. No old business at this time. New business, discuss and possibly approve a capital purchase for street department, 96-inch snow blade for the skid steer. And before Corey starts, had we had this 2 weeks ago, it would have been phenomenal.
Now, you also have the quote and everything in your packet. This is just kind of a write-up. Capital purchase for the general fund, highways and streets, 110-4300-900, which is your capital outlay. If you go back to your general fund budget, you do have money available for a capital purchase. You just purchased a $13,000 mower that we had budgeted $22,000 for. So you have about $7,000 to $8,000 left over in capital outlay under your street fund. So another thing is, with the skid steer, we've been looking at buying a different piece or implement each year. We can just do the snow plow this year and do the other next fiscal year. So I'm recommending that we purchase 96-inch snow blade, heavy duty, at a price of $4,121.85. Again, that would be paid for from the general fund. Highways and Streets, 110, 4300-900. Again, your capital outlay.
So do we have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second, thank you, Mr. Bass. Any further discussion?
I'm curious, is this something now, I understand it's a need, and you never know, but is this something we'll never use till next year?
Probably use it here in a couple of weeks.
There is so the 30-day forecast shows
No?
another, yes, in about 2 to 3 weeks, so.
Yeah.
How
Is
long
it-
will it take us to get it?
That's the question.
If we approve it tonight, we'll order it tomorrow, and we'll hopefully get it, I was told 8 to 10 days.
Down in Knoxville.
Where does it come from?
It's supposed to be checking around to all the area, like dealerships.
Bobcat.
Just get back with them.
Bobcat Lane. Knoxville.
He's been checking.
Not off of
Oh, okay.
So he's supposed to let you know.
Is our equipment set up for this to go right on? That's going on our truck?
That goes to your Bobcat.
Bobcat.
Yeah.
So you already have one-ton truck set up with the snow plow and the salt spreader on the back. We're just looking for another piece of equipment.
Can that be used to grade, soft dirt,
It
sand
can,
ball field?
yes, it can. Because a lot of these
Field,
blades
maybe?
are multi-use for like sand, like topsoil, not like,
Field on the baseball field?
Yes.
Or softball field?
yes, yeah.
Can't use it down there.
Why?
This was bought out of State Street 8, it only can be used on highway.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
Yeah, I was told that real fast.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about purchasing one for my skid steer, but I'm gonna tell you, it was really cold. Open cab. Listen, nobody ever said I was the smartest mayor in the world, okay? Sometimes you gotta be stupid, you just gotta be tough, so. It was really cold last week or 2 weeks ago. All right.
Okay, so this can be used for soft dirt as well, you said?
It can, not,
You wouldn't really want to?
no, not really, but you can, yes.
Most of it's gonna be used for snow, is that
Yes,
basically?
For once every 20 years when we,
right.
Well, if we don't use it for 5 years, we sell it.
Well, I mean, right, we really can. And it's an item, because I've researched this a lot, Corey's researched a lot, it's an item that holds value very well. It's not like you buy it for $4,000 a day. If we don't use it next year, we still sell it for $3,800. I mean,
and
it's,
then we get another big snow the next year.
right, literally. So, but this puts us in a better position to where if we do have 3 to 4 inch snow, which is more common, right? Those are feasible. Those happen once a year, once every other year. Then we have 2 items of attack, not just one, versus, or minus what the mayor purchased. So this really helps improve our standing to be able to safely get people to and from work, EMS, get to your home and all that, so. All right, roll call, Joe.
Robert Miller,
Yes, sir.
Jeff Bass,
Yes.
Kenny Brown,
Yes.
Teresa Van Hook,
Yes.
Terry Hall,
Yes.
passed.
Thank you. Discuss and possibly approve a rezone request, Blake Harden, owner of property located at map 001F Group A parcel. Request a rezone from C3 Highway Business District to R2 Medium Residential District. Mr. Harden is intending to divide the property into multiple residential lots. This came before the planning commission the last meeting, and they approved, sent it to council tonight. My recommendation is that we accept the planning commission's approval. Corey, do you have any?
No, the planning commission had no questions. They recommend the approval and it passed unanimously.
And Mr. Harden's sitting here tonight. He's owns a business in Oak Ridge Chiropractic. Is that correct? You and your wife? And so he's wanting to help our town. Let's help him help our town. So
Where is this property?
I like the motion.
Is there one down here where the old junkyard used to be?
Oh, yeah, it used to be a junkyard.
Yeah.
We'll say that, yeah.
What's the address?
I'll make the motion.
What is the address?
the address, I'm sorry, it's
Oh,
They know what it is.
Blake, what is the address?
She's got the coordinates.
It's Hen Valley, but it doesn't have a street address assigned.
Silver Junkyard.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Park them cars.
Yeah, we just have a parcel number on here, so I apologize.
Did I miss somebody making a motion?
Yeah, Mr. Bass made the motion. Do we have a second?
I make
Second.
Okay.
Further discussion?
R2, is that is R2 multi-dwelling?
Blake?
I believe that it can be, but all of the surrounding is zoned R2. My plan is to divvy it into several lots that would be too small to basically have multifamily, but I don't recall if it was, I know you can't have more than like a duplex or something. But that's not my intention.
So you're just wanting to do what, like single-family units?
Single family?
Are you aware of that, what that property was for years? Has state ever come in and asked you to do soil samples or anything like that?
No, sir.
Do you think you will have to? Because, that was for years what it was for old cars. Is that something that was brought up before?
No, sir.
I didn't know that.
Crowded up here, that's
Yeah.
Ralph Darty.
Really?
That's Ralph Darty's junkyard.
Did not know that.
That's where every car he towed in.
I know,
you're too young.
Yeah, I am.
there used to be a fence, the state made them put a fence up here.
Yeah.
And, finally got rid of all the cars over the years. And they just got rid of cars, that's correct.
Any further discussion? Roll call, Joe?
Robert Miller,
Yes, sir.
Jeff Bass,
Yes.
Kenny Brown,
Yes.
Lisa Van Hook,
Yes.
Terry Allen,
Yes.
passed.
Item C, discuss and possibly approve the resolution 2024-02-01, a resolution in recognition of the African American history of Oliver Springs, support of the Tri-County African American Cultural Museum, and support of the Mamie Carmichael School Organization. Corey?
Resolution 2024-02-01, whereas the town of Oliver Springs recognizes the significant contributions and rich history of the African American community within its borders, and whereas the Tri-County African American Cultural Museum stands as a beacon of preservation showcasing the diverse heritage and achievements of the African American community in Oliver Springs, and whereas the Mamie Carmichael School Organization plays a crucial role in fostering awareness, education, and appreciation for the historical importance of the Mamie Carmichael School. And whereas the town of Oliver Springs Mayor's Office and City Council demonstrates unwavering support for its initiatives aimed at building, preserving, and promoting the African American history within its community. Now therefore be it resolved that the town of Oliver Springs officially recognizes and celebrates the African American history ingrained in its cultural fabric. And be it further resolved that the Tri-County African American Cultural Museum and the Mamie Carmichael School Organization are commended for their efforts in preserving and promoting the rich heritage of the African American community. And be it further resolved that the town of Oliver Springs Mayor's Office and City Council affirm their steadfast commitment to supporting initiatives that contribute to the building and preservation of African American history within the community. And finally, be it resolved that copies of this resolution be provided to the Tri-County African American Cultural Museum, the Mamie Carmichael School Organization, and made available to the public to underscore the town of Oliver Springs' dedication to fostering an inclusive and historically rich community.
I'll make the motion to approve the resolution.
We have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second. Any further discussion? Roll call, Joe.
Robert Miller,
Yes, sir.
Jeff Bass,
Yes, sir.
Kenny Brown,
Yes.
Lisa Van Hook,
Yes.
Terry Allen,
Yes.
passed.
Thank you all. Item D, discuss charter changes. The charter change that me and Corey have discussed, I would say needs to be tabled until at least the next council meeting, until TDEC, or TDEC. The comptroller's office gives us clarification on a particular item.
So what you have there is the first part of your chart, for your actual charter. If you'll just go ahead and be reviewing that in its entirety. Now would be the time to change any of your charters if you have anything on your mind.
Yep.
How often can we change it? Every 10 years?
We can change it every time you.
Yeah.
And-
It just has to go before the state. Once we approve
Yeah, you're back.
by a supermajority vote, then it goes before the state legislature to essentially be ratified or passed. So, but yeah. So that's where I stand on that, unless anybody else has anything at this time.
So do we have a copy of the proposed changes?
Not yet, no.
Oh, that's what the comptroller's working on.
Correct. Well, we're waiting for, yes,
Confirmation.
yes, so.
Okay.
All right, item E, discuss city council seat Ward 6 vacancy. Corey.
All right, I received 2 letters. One from Miss Becky Devaney, second being from Mr. Don Schillings. Both these people have met the qualifications for being a council member candidate. Kind of the process would now be up to council to either discuss or make the motion second and vote. Then I would prepare the resolution for the February 15th, 2024 council meeting. At that time, that person could be sworn in.
Well, if there's a motion and a second, it passes tonight, they can be sworn in tonight.
Could. I'd rather do a resolution with it. Technically, they can, yes.
Could they both come up and let's talk to them?
I was gonna ask Joe, what is, I remember whenever I took over for Mr. Crace, that was several years ago, and I don't remember the exact protocol that we used that day.
Well, from a parliamentary procedure standpoint, there'd be a motion and a second. One way is to have a motion and a second to nominate one or the other and have a roll call vote. And obviously, if you make a motion and a second to elect Becky Devaney to fill the place, there's a vote, and if she gets the vote, she wins. On the other hand, if there's a motion and a second to elect Mr. Schillings and he gets the vote, he wins. Now, years ago, it's my recollection to replace the city finance officer at that time. There was a secret ballot, and the 2 candidates that were, names were written on paper, and, for example, each councilman would vote and write the name down, and then that's publicly called, and the council person applicant that gets the most votes wins. Now, I haven't researched it, but I would think that it should be a roll call vote. I'll say perhaps based on the sunshine law or based on the disclosures. Having said that, I'm not completely sure, and you might consult MTAS, because if it was proper when the city finance officer was elected years ago, and Ms. Walker was involved in one of them at that time, and I can't remember whether she won or lost on that election. She later succeeded when her predecessor had some problems and had to resign. But if it was lawful then to be voted that way, it should be lawful now. And keep in mind, that was ever how many years ago. Ramona's been city finance officer, 20 years maybe.
25.
So I'm 25, so I'm, that's a long way to recall specifically, but in general, I think those are the two variants.
I've sat on council since '06, and it's been done twice on council since I've sat here.
What, motion to second with public
No,
roll call vote?
To do it by secret ballot, it's
Okay.
been done.
I still think we should allow both of them to speak.
Yeah, I do too as well. I do too as well. Shoot mercy. I do too.
Which one wants to come first?
Yes, Ms.
Doesn't
Devaney,
have
ladies
alphabetical order.
first. I'm sorry,
Alphabetical order. Devaney comes before Shillings.
Ms. Becky Devaney, would you like to step forward, please?
Hello. I'm Becky Devaney, I'm in Jonesboro, Stellar. I have been asked to fill his position. I worked closely with Dad. I feel very strongly for the community like my dad did. I'm a business owner. I now run Jonesboro Insurance. I've got Devaney's Eats and Treats, which I think all of you all have came and had my ice cream. Any questions you all got for me?
What would you like to see happen in Oliver Springs?
For us to grow. We got a lot of potential out of it.
Is that your house beside Jane?
It is. Yes. Yep.
Have you ever been on a council or anything, planning commission or anything like that before?
But I did help Dad. I was his right hand, particularly more when he served at Rome County Council or Commission. And then as his health declined here, he wasn't as active as he was in Rome County.
So his term will be up in November, is that correct?
That's my understanding, yes.
November of 2024.
Yes.
This year, are you planning on running if you got, or this gonna be just something you fill in?
I don't know. I would like to continue.
I mean, the voters would have to do it then,
Right.
not us.
Yeah.
Sure.
Unfortunately, I wish the voters would decide these two instead of us and doing it.
Well, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
I will tell you, it's a lot of work to get caught up to speed. I mean, you will be somewhat familiar from having watched your dad.
Right.
But it is,
It's not.
it's
completely-
intense at first.
It's not completely foreign talk to me, resolutions and all that. I've heard that. For the last 20 years, I've heard that talk. So I know.
Would you be objected to be the second woman ever in Olive Springs to be on the council?
Nope.
I was wondering if we ever had two.
No, we've had women, yes.
Yeah, we
Yeah, my mother served.
Joe's mother was city
Yeah,
council.
my mother served in 1975, I think.
She
Right before
served
I
after,
graduated
she
from law
served
school.
after we married too.
And then Jim Davis, his wife, I think he
We
died.
never had two on the same.
And Jim Davis, his wife, was elected to finish out his term for several weeks. And then, Kim Patterson served. And,
Was Becky Yarborough
Becky Yarborough.
at the
served.
same time that Kim Patterson?
She, her and Kim both served on.
See, I think we've had
Kim's
two women on
served.
council before.
and then Tree, this is about 6, I think. This, if Ms. Devaney is elected, it'd be the first time the council has had 2 women serve.
Are you sure, did
we
Becky
had
Yarborough
Becky and
not
Kim.
serve at the same time that Kim Patterson?
Yeah, that's right, she did. This would be the
I think
second
they
time.
did.
I stand
Yeah,
corrected.
Becky and Kim served together.
Well, it would be an honor to serve.
Any further questions?
You do realize that you're on the water board and the beer board as well.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Don. The Don.
Don Schilling, 733 Gensley Road, Kellytown. probably approximately 15 years, I served on different occasions on city council, water board, whatever. Most of you know me, that could be good, it could be bad. But I think with my experience and willingness and continued progress, sounds like what y'all started, sounds pretty good. And, you know, make sure we provide services to the citizens, businesses. I would like to help, I believe I can help. If you give me a chance.
For sure. Is that your intention to re-election?
I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you.
No, I understand.
I can't answer that right now.
I know you did good while you was here, and
I tried to.
we all had problems, and
Well, we're human beings, we disagreed, but I think we accomplished a lot of stuff, and, that's politics.
I enjoyed serving with you.
Over the years, goods happen, bads happen, it's just, I go all the way back to 79,
Wow.
back when I was a young man, but.
Yeah, your picture's probably on the wall over there.
Are you prepared for this pay stuff? There's a lot more paperwork
Sure.
we used to have.
I got grandkids, I'm trained in this, so.
A lot more paperwork than I used to have, that's a fact, so.
Sorry about that.
No, it's good, it's good.
I've never complained for a paper trail.
Yeah,
Computers were supposed to take place and all that.
all right, for sure.
Never happened.
Yeah, computers take the place of that.
Yeah, I see that.
Any more questions?
I'm just curious, did your wife give you approval?
We talked about it, Kitty. I'll put it that way.
That's a good topic,
Oh, yeah?
She
Oh,
knows
yeah.
what you've been in the past over, and I catch it too, because I stayed here too long.
I hope you didn't blame me for that. She don't blame me for that.
I just asked that, other than that. Trying to be personal, private, personal.
Thank you, Mr. Don, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
And you're gonna say the election will be, next meeting, first meeting in March, or tonight.
I'm good for the first one in March. That way, if you have any questions, you can answer them.
We got another meeting, then?
We do,
Yeah.
2 weeks.
15.
So,
Yeah.
or if y'all wanna hold it tonight, somebody make a motion, somebody second it. It don't matter to me. So,
I make a motion
okay,
that I nominate Ms. Devaney for the job, and I'll tell you why. And I have nothing against Mr. Schillings at all. I appreciate his years of service. But look at us. We need some younger people to step up in this community and begin to be trained to take over someday. And that is my reason.
so we have a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second to get it on the board,
Okay.
on the plate.
So we have a motion, we have a second. Any further discussion?
I'm glad to see two people there that
I am too, yeah.
It's been happening forever.
Right, several years.
Yeah, still us having to pursue somebody.
Right.
Run them down.
All right, motion, second, discussion. Roll call, Joe?
Robert Miller,
Yes, sir.
Jeff Bass,
Yes.
Kenny Brown,
Yes,
Teresa Van Hook,
Yes.
Terry Holland.
I'd say yes.
Okay. Well, Becky DeVaney's been elected.
yeah.
You wanna swear her in tonight?
Ms. Becky, do you want to be sworn in tonight, or do you want to wait till we go to Mamie Carmichael, the historical
It does not matter to me, whichever. Just, let's
I
do
do
it another
tonight.
night. It's
Okay.
late, you all got
Okay.
lots more to do.
All right, well, last item on the agenda is discuss and possibly approve a vice mayor.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
as a point of order, parliamentary procedure,
Sorry.
being the parliamentarian,
Yes.
she can be sworn in after the meeting. She doesn't
Okay.
have to be sworn in at a meeting.
Okay.
And if she wishes, if we want to do it again, you know, it's like when John Kennedy was assassinated, they swore Lyndon Johnson in on the airplane
Right.
and so on. So,
Okay.
and it can be reproduced later on for television, for public consumption if you want to.
Yes.
So I don't-
Ominous, go ahead and do it.
Well, we can do it afterwards.
Unless you would prefer to do it out at the museum, I mean, that's pretty
Yeah.
historical too,
It will be a historical night for sure. So,
to do it at the museum.
It'll be her discretion.
yeah, okay,
I probably honestly want to do it here, where Daddy was sworn in at.
okay.
Okay,
All right.
okay.
But if you want to do it tonight, after, or we can do it in March, whatever, up to you.
So right now. I
Yes.
was prepared to swear to Mr. Love today. I've got the.
That camera's here, it's, do it, get it on film.
Well, while she's discussing that with her family, let us go ahead and get our last item discussed and approved. A new vice mayor. I know that Mr. Holland and I have spoken a few times about this, and he would, I think, serve this town well. And so I am asking council for a motion to accept Mr. Holland as the vice mayor.
I so move.
So moved. Second?
Second.
Who
Second.
did that? Who got it?
It was Mr. Brown and Mr. Bass.
Okay.
So, any further discussion?
Before you vote, if my memory is correct, Mr. Holland's grandfather, Harry Van Senior, served as mayor
Brother.
back in the 60s, I think, maybe in the 62
63.
to 65, 66. So he's following in the family footsteps.
Is your plan to run in the next election, the re-election?
Your term's up this year.
Yeah. I'd give somebody a shot at it, but I guess I'd do it if nobody wants to.
Nobody wants to answer that.
This will be my third time as vice mayor.
Really?
I think in that smaller picture, Mr. Van, your grandfather's picture's up in the upper left-hand corner, isn't it?
Yeah, the second one.
The second one.
All right,
Next one.
let's roll call it.
Robert Miller,
Yes.
Jeff Bass,
Yes.
Kenny Brown,
Yes.
Teresa Van Hook,
Yes.
Terry Holland. Pass.
All right. We'll look forward to seeing you all in 2 weeks. Without further ado, this motion, or this meeting is adjourned. All in favor, say aye. Call the Town of Oliver Springs Water Board meeting to order for February 1st, 2024. Roll call, Mr. Joe.
Robert Miller,
Here.
Jeff Bass,
Here.
Kenny Brown,
Here.
Teresa Van Hook,
Here.
Terry Holland.
Here.
We have 5 out of 6 with 1 vacancy. We have 4.
All right. We have a motion to approve the minutes from January the 4th.
Make a motion to approve.
Got a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second. Excuse me.
Second. Any discussion? No discussion? Roll call, Joe.
Robert Miller,
Yes.
Jeff Bass,
Pass.
Kenny Brown,
Yes.
Teresa Van Hook,
Pass.
Terry Holland.
Yes.
Passed 3-0 to 2.
All right, at this time, do we have any comments from the water board customers? If so, come forward and state your name.
Hello, everyone. Everyone pretty much knows who I am. My name's Toby Minor. I live at 604 Sleepy Hollow Road. I'm not really wanting to make a formal complaint, but as I have made aware to Mr. Bass, Mr. Miller, Mr. Stiltner, and shown them the video of the water meters that are being replaced on Sleepy Hollow Road. Well, our water is being disconnected with no notice of it, and that's not really the issue. The issue is when they're breaking the line, they're pushing air through the line, And these three gentlemen have also seen the video of my meter with the air just spinning. I'm about just like, I couldn't turn the faucet in my house on to get enough spin in a meter like that.
Corey, you need to see this video.
I was told today that there's no way that's happened. That a water representative was leaving this building today coming to my house. I'm still waiting on him to show up.
And you can hear the water, you can hear the air going through the line, that's a wild thing about it.
That's the only issue I would say, because you're probably gonna have a lot of people on Sleepy Hall coming and disputing some water bills.
Was it still spinning you left?
As soon as they fix the leak, it stops. Once the water comes back in, I go in my house while this is happening, turn every spigot and faucet on, there is no cold water, nothing coming out of our spigot. We don't even get a drip. And when we do get water reconnected, I have to turn everything on, and it's about a good 30 seconds of air push. About it, how I hear that it happens within my home is that it's pushing air through my washer, out my P-trap through my washer drain, and it's allowing sewer gas to come back out. Like I said, it's just something I think needs to be brought to
Yes.
your all's attention.
So, I need that video.
I will forward it to you.
Yes.
Via, either I'll get your
Yeah.
phone number, or I'll get it through Facebook Messenger, and I'll show him the video real quick if you like.
Yeah,
Or you should see this dial going, I don't know I've ever seen one do
So
that
they're
before.
still not big?
Now, I'll say it's one of the ones that's kind of hard to see.
So, they're fixing water, or, they're putting in new service lines, so they have to break the line to put a new line in. Yes, and when it does, air gets in the system, and it's forcing it through the line, and it's coming out, and when I say that dial, you've never seen anything like that in your life.
Yeah. What, they get charged?
Yes.
Because they're working them hot.
Yeah.
And when they break it at the main, when they break that nipple off or replace it, it's sucking air somehow. It's catching air in there and it's bringing air. Everybody ahead of that's getting air in lines.
So there's no telling what some of these water bills are gonna be.
And he needs to get, well, they got some readings, I
Can
guess.
they read his name?
So you can do like a minute by minute, hour by hour analysis of each individual customer. And so more likely that's what we'll do is, Corey can go back to it, or Lisa can go back to the system and see when that hits. And then it'll be a painstaking process, but it'll be one that we'll need to do.
But they got the new meters or old?
No, still old.
Old, so
Yeah,
at least they got a good baseline.
New service lines, new cradles for the new meters to set in and everything that's going in now.
Is this the first time this has happened? Anybody since they done this?
First time we've heard about it.
Heard about it, correct.
Heard about it. No.
Well, this is the only place they're actually breaking lines.
Yeah, this is the only place. And they decided to start on Sleepy Hollow for some reason. We talking about the mess.
Yeah,
So I've had numerous complaints about the mud, the equipment sitting on the road for
yeah.
2 weeks.
Well, I went down and tried to speak with a lady that lives right across from you. I went to her house twice, and she didn't answer the word at the time. But I
One
tried.
that works at the school or one's the nurse.
740.
748 or 752.
If you're looking from your house, straightforward, it's just to the right.
752, yeah,
Yeah.
she's a nurse at Oak Ridge.
Okay. So, but I have tried twice, just FYI.
Well, the main thing is if we can,
She worked 7 to 7.
So Corey, given what Toby brought to our attention, what will we need to do? Because he said,
I mean, anytime it's just like having a leak anywhere else. When you depressurize the line, you pressure it back up, you've got to flush. 1, to get the dirty water out, 2, to get the air out.
right,
That hadn't been done. That's what it is. It is what it is.
so how do we adjust?
I take it they're supposed to do that.
Yeah.
So all that water went in, dirty water went in my brand new hot water heater.
They've been flushing it, probably not to get all the air and everything out of it. So, but it's worth checking.
So you need to open your outside spigot and blow it out in the yard, I guess.
Yeah.
But
Well, you
Robert,
shouldn't have it.
it's clean muddy water.
Yeah.
Go
with Joe.
So what they're installing, is the new meter set, we've got check valves in them, so it don't bleed any of the lines or the water back out of the house.
So do we need to maybe give any type of notices to the folks on Sleepy Hollow to say, hey,
So one thing that I've talked to Terry about before he starts digging anybody's yard, go to the house and tell them what they're doing, tell them the water be off maybe 30 minutes to an hour.
no, I meant for like folks like Toby and his neighbor, the tenants right across the street that,
Put down most of their meters.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah, because that's, that's charging. Every time it goes around, it's charging.
That thing was sitting there chattering, I don't know what read, the dial was going around. I think it was just sitting there chattering. But, I mean, it's, yeah,
Have you? I've never seen one do that.
yeah, a bunch.
all right, so the mayor update, I really don't have one, other than, I think we're still sitting roughly 60%, a little bit under, 58%, so making just continual minor headway into, hopefully by the end of this year, we'll be 50%, 45, would be nice, so. I know during the cold snap, we had several lines rupture, one being a 6-inch main right there across from the Historical Society. That was a nightmare. Poor old Corey was out helping with that one, so, but that's all I got this time, Corey.
TBOUR, that's your Tennessee Board of Utility Regulation Board. Spoke with them earlier this week. The extension was granted. Rate study is being completed by Jackson Thornton, should be completed mid-February. At that point, a representative from Jackson Thornton will be here to present that to management and to council. The feasibility study, contract with GRW, again, that was not to exceed $60,000. Keep in mind that 2024 infrastructure planning grant, we have $115,000 coming just for that. And that is underway. One thing, I'm working with Anderson County Water Authority right now. They went through a merger back 2010, 2011. That's when they created ACWA. So they've already got their pressure models and stuff like that put together. So this will kind of be an easy person to work with instead of starting cold with like Oak Ridge, Cumberland, or somebody like that. So that's who we're working with the feasibility scales. One thing that the comptroller did stress was the board member training. Again, 12 hours every 3 years. Second thing, we've got 2 public hearings coming up, February the 6th, beginning at 11 a.m. here at City Hall. One is for the Community Development Block Grant Program for 2024. And the second at 11:15, as soon as the first one ends, would be the CDBG program project closeout, which is your 2022 water system improvement project. And that had to do with the zone meter project and the hydraulic model study. Your handouts, performance services, one thing I want you to look at there is the preliminary infrastructure improvement report. This was what we were working with back in September, October, November. Couple of things, performance services, working with Olive Springs on strategies for energy operational efficiency, water loss reduction, and potential funding mechanisms for several of the needed capital improvements, like a new public works building and the new Justice Center. So we've kind of put off the Justice Center because that's not something that's going to happen within the next 5 years. You're probably 5 to 7 out before that. But this is a report going through that, has the budget estimates and potential savings. One thing that Performance Services has asked at the February 15th council meeting, they will be here at 6 p.m. if anyone has any questions or would like to meet with them to go over anything, any projects in this.
What date was that again?
The next council meeting, February the 15th.
15th, okay.
Yeah, and like I said, they'll be here at 6 p.m. The water plant update, state reports were submitted January 5th, no violations. Same for the sewer plant, submitted on January 4th, no violations. Your water loss spreadsheet. Everything should be in order the way I handed it to you too. So, January 2024, current water loss is 58.3%. So from March 2023, you have dropped your water loss almost 20%.
Which is a savings, by the way. Just so you can't say this enough, almost $15,000 a month is what we're saving now that we are no longer having to purchase water daily, 7 days a week, 30 days out of the month.
How many days are we buying right now?
The past 2 weeks, we've been buying every day just for about 2 hours at a time, just to try to keep everything up, especially when those heavy rains and stuff come through, because we were planning on being shut down for an extended period of time in case the hydrovid come in, which it didn't. So we were lucky there, and I mean, we were lucky all through the snow and ice ordeal at the water plant. Normally, we would be buying probably every other night. We do buy 2 nights on the weekend. So I mean, we're back up to buying maybe 7.5, right at 8 million for January. That's a pretty good number, considering how much we bought from them then.
Do we got operators there when we're buying?
Yes. Yeah. A lot of times they're still running the plant when we buy from them too. So they're actually doing something when they are there. Second handout that I had for you right there looks like this. This is our zone meter that we have out in the system. You have 6 zone meters. What this is from GRW, part of the hydraulic model. So this information from those zone meters, this is how much water we're losing in each zone. So zone 0 and the additional handouts are the actual maps of the zones through the back. So zone 0 would be the line from the water plant to zone 1 and zone 2. So from the water plant, this is less than a quarter mile of pipe we're losing. October is 47 gallons per minute. Through December, it's actually decreased. Big things are zone 1 and zone 3 and 4. So zone 1 is the water line coming up Oliver Springs Highway. So we're losing average 190 gallons a minute on that line. Big thing on zone 3 and 4. That would be the meters at Batley. So from Batley to Richards Tank, we're losing on average about 250 gallons per minute. Zones 5 and 6. Zone 5 would be the meter that's going up Dutch Valley. Zone 6 would be the meter at Strut Street and Tri-County Boulevard. That would be the line coming down into town. So we're averaging right there losing about 200, 205 gallons per minute. So this was the project where you put your zone meters out in your system. Corey with GRW is the one that's been manipulating this data. So this is kind of the first reports that we've got out of that. So what does this mean? We now, with a loop system, we know what these numbers are. So we've already identified valves out in the system where we can isolate different pressure zones out in the system. So case in point on number 5, we can cut a valve off backside of Smith Road. That one valve will create 4 different pressure zones in our system. So we've already got the number of meters counted in each pressure zone. We'll watch this data for a month and be able to tell how much more water we're losing in each zone.
And let me, with Cecil sitting here, that was the original intent for the whole zones, right?
Absolutely.
And when Cecil passed the torch, nobody looked at it. Literally the torch got water on it and went out. And so this data has been available the whole time. And now here we are with someone who understands the hydraulics of the system, and now you're seeing the end result of what Cecil knew 6 years ago, now we're seeing it play out. And in the coming weeks and months ahead, we will identify, when he breaks it down street by street, where our loss is the greatest, and we will address the issue going forward. So we're no longer shooting in the dark. Oh, I wonder where the leaks are. Well, now we know where the leaks are. So, Corey, I digress.
No, you're good. Some other areas we'll be able to isolate are on Airport Road between Sycamore and Davis Lane. Edmonds Road, and then actually on the boulevard. So that's stuff we're looking at right here with that. Your service line replacement project started January 10th. Got 16 meters replaced so far, and that's replacing the service lines from the main to the meter, the meter setters, new meters, and meter boxes. Now, we have had a couple of issues out there. Case in point, the complaint we had earlier. We've had a couple of service lines and have not been able to turn those lines off. What they have done in the meantime has been out exercising the valves, running them up or running them closed, open them back up, and it'll bust that tubercle growth off the seats of them where they will eventually close. So they are doing that now. A lot of what the contractor's been digging out is old copper with your lead joints, your lead fittings. So this is stuff we need to be getting out of the system anyway. It's kind of slower process than we thought, but.
Can that copper be sold, recycled?
Yeah, most definite.
Is it going to be, and who will get the money?
I mean, it'll go back to the water department.
Okay.
I mean, just like we sell.
We're stockpiling it to carry it to the
Yeah.
metal smelter, and they'll give us a check
Yeah.
back. Okay,
We have that and the brass as well.
okay.
We take
That's
it.
good news. Won't be a lot, but it'll be something.
The new cam strut meter installation started January the 8th, approximately 200 meters installed. They started down to the downtown area. They're currently going up in the Cove and should have that area finished maybe tomorrow.
Are they putting business meters in too?
Yeah, this
Downtown Corey?
Yeah, this is total
Everything?
residential, yeah, the 1 inch, 2 inch, and 3 inch meters, yeah. This is total. The consumption analysis, Councilman Brown, the one that you asked about, I'm about halfway through that. That was the minimum bill. Currently it's at 1,000 gallons, about moving at to 1,300. I should have that spreadsheet for you by the March meeting. Financials, if you want to pull up your bank statements and your budget. Currently, for the waterworks, you have $923,566.64 in your water account.
With a disclaimer that
Here's the disclaimer.
375,000 is getting ready to get transferred out.
Correct.
Because that was ARPA money that should not have been in there. But all that being said, we're at what, 5 months in a row in the black now?
Yes.
5 months, yeah. So, which means we're not losing money anymore. There you go. Sorry.
Waterworks payroll account, $17,987.44. Your rural development account has $602,920.44. And your HR account currently has $89,604.26. Now, you do have two accounts at Regions. Both of these are grant funds. One has $110,554.94. The second has $38,197.64. So that is your bank statements for the water and sewer fund. Your budgets, all the way to the right, December. Now, again, these are December 2023 numbers. We don't have the financial statements for January just yet. But if you want to, well, front page, real quick, metered water sales. December, sales are down just a little bit, $100,452.77. Monthly average, you're averaging $101,148. We're trending toward 1.213 on the water revenues. Budgeted numbers 1.258. So you're starting to trend the right direction. Jump all the way to the back sheet. Now, we did have a $197,000 contributed capital grant. That was a CDBG reimbursement. Total for December, you are $268,191.17 in the black.
You lost me. Where you at?
Very back page. Right in the net change in net position.
So that's what we've got in the bank right now?
No, you have 900,000 in the bank. This is just your budget versus actual for this fiscal year. So you're $286,018.10 for December. Now, if you look out to the right, that actual is $268,191.17, just because of that grant money.
Okay.
So in 5 months, we've had a net change position of $286,000 to the black versus last year, we were how much in the red? Almost 500,000, is that right, Corey? Including the depreciation?
Correct. Now, if you want to look at the very bottom, this is reconciling your budget to a cash basis. Depreciation average, that's $540,000 for the year. You average that out over 12 months, so you're $45,000 there. Your only capital expenditure for December was your principal on your sewer treatment loan, payment of $25,212. So if you look all the way to the bottom, based off your budget, I'm showing that you have $1,011,355, or $1,011,355 in your account. The reality is, off your bank statements, is the $923,000.
That's how I would make it.
So there will be some difference there. Any questions? Financials, bank statements, anything, projects? That's allowed.
At least we're headed in the right direction.
Yes. Yes. So and that helps us tremendously in the feasibility study when we can look at them and say, hey, we don't need to merge with another utility because we can manage our own. So versus the last 4 years when we have been in the red for 4 years in a row. So
The state will be happy with the last 6 months of improvement.
for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, 20% reduction in water loss. Now we're 5 months in the black. I mean, the trend is we're doing much better. So, Mr. Miller at this time.
I gotta say it, so I don't know why I forget. Our water bill went up almost $70 this month. And no change in the household, you know, they're just but, you know, like I said, there was 33 days. But the bill will tell you at the top, there's 35 days on it. And of course, I know what that means, and Corey, he explained it to me. But a lot of the general public do not know what that means. But that 3 days put me into another water bracket.
And so why was it delayed 3 days, Corey? Was it weather related?
Yeah, we try to read, it's usually the 19th or 20th or 21st of every month. Meaning you have 30 billing days in each billing cycle.
Yeah.
So normally, that counts from the time you go out, when you read that meter, till the time you read it the next month. Now, local government, the way you have to load your computer and read this, that starts that count as soon as you load your computer. You have to let that computer load for 1 day before you start reading. So you're automatically 1 day behind on your billing there. Now, this time, we were supposed to start reading it on a Saturday. It snowed on Monday. So we didn't start reading till Tuesday. So there's your 3 days there.
And I've had, I don't know how many complaints about the mess we've got on Sleepy Hollow when we're putting in these new service lines. I've got complaints from mud being hauled the road for 2 weeks, to no signs being put up, to equipment sitting in the road for 2 weeks. And I've come to him with it, so I left it in his lap.
Yeah.
Was that due to the weather? Is that why it
Part
was
of
sat
it,
there
yeah,
for so
part of
long?
it, yeah.
Some of it, yeah, some of that's where they've hit those services and it's created a mess out there.
Yeah, like the one today where they had that one up there on the hill above, Redbud, it's, there's mud all the way across the road, down the road, into Cedar. Yeah.
Corey, just give it to Terry, make sure he dots his i's and crosses his t's.
Yes, it's definitely.
I just told them that I'd do what I could do for them and.
For sure.
And leave it at that.
Put them to me.
But I would like to thank the water guys for getting out here and fixing these leaks back the week of the snow and trying to stay, I know they were out there on Sleepy Hollow day for, I don't know, what, 3 hours at least on that one. Yeah. And that's all I've got, sir, this time.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. Mr. Bass?
Have another.
Mr. Brown?
I want to thank our workers. Like I said, we've had a tough 2 weeks around here, and I didn't leave the house for 5-6 days. And, for what good, you know, the snow brings, it showed up a nasty looking fiasco. Are we, stocking back up on salt and brine, or?
We are.
Is that
Already been replenished.
already been refinished? And our budget really took a hit, I'm assuming, on that, like a lot of other counties.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get into it more in depth in on the council side, but I mean, it costs us $24,000.
Okay.
That's labor, material, and equipment use. And that's just on the street side, that don't take into account any of your water sewer leaks. That was close to, I think we turned in, what did we turn in,
5,000.
5,000 for reimbursement from
Yeah.
Anderson County Emergency Management.
So we know we
So
had a
that's
lot
the water.
of overtime going on, I'm assuming too, right?
A lot.
And that really, does that come out of, that overtime, that come out of this budget, or does it come out of that
No, okay, it'll come out of this budget.
I'm done, General
general
Budget.
budget?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all I have on.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Ms. Van Hook?
I just want to say, I wasn't able to be at the last council meeting where you voted the raise to our employees, and I would have been right there with you voting for that. I'm very pleased that we were able to give them a raise. They obviously earned it.
Yes, very much so. Thank you. Mr. Holland?
How many meters, new meters installed?
They're probably about right at 200. Now, I don't take into account what they've done today. And there's three doing the installs, 3 people. And the meters that are close together like they are downtown, I mean, they can knock out 60, 70 a day. Now, the ones that are like, Oliver Springs Highway, there's one here and quarter mile down the road, obviously that's gonna take a little bit longer. So they're right at 200 right now. Good weather, good conditions, they should be able to install 1,000 a month, 900,000 a month. So we're shooting for having this job wrapped up by, April, May.
That's good. You really tied him up some today, but y'all need to spend some time with him, because as long as I've been on this, I didn't realize that, what was the statistics, we feed all the houses on Dutch Valley to,
Yeah.
Marlow Extension.
Marlow Extension.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that's on both sides of the road, the whole run.
We looked at a lot of the maps today that showed where the meters are at, valves, fire hydrants, stuff like that.
And I always heard woodcutters, but I never heard that we feed all the houses on each side of 61 all the way to the water plant. So I was kind of open your eyes and have me more chances of water leaking. What's going on, because it's all over.
Yeah, it's not just Oliver Springs proper, so.
It's a giant loop. That's all.
Thank you, Mr. Holland. No old business, new business. Discuss and possibly approve a capital purchase for the wastewater plant, ISCO Model 5800 refrigerated sampler for
So you should have in your packet, be these two things here with your quote. So what these are is an outside sampler. Takes like a composite sample of your effluent samples at the sewer plant. There's 4 state required tests it takes: total nitrogen, ammonia, suspended solids, and a carbonaceous bio-oxygen demand. So again, you've got 2, one on the influent, which is the raw influent, but you're finished. The one on the influent is the one that has went bad. So this, we are needing to purchase at least one of these. I would recommend, if you're replacing one, to go ahead and replace the second one. If you look back on your budget, there is capital money in the sewer treatment. It's $36,000 for static data telemetry other that is in your budget for stuff for the sewer plant. If you look at this quote, now this is kind of a single source item as well, so it's not like you can bid this stuff out. So one of these samplers is $8,682. 2 of them would be $17,364. Freight would be $676. I'm recommending we purchase 2 of the 5,800, the Isodyne 5,800 refrigerated samplers at a total cost of $18,040.
What line item would that come out of for?
It would be your,
Sewer
if you look at the very back sheet, at the bottom, ST would be sewer treatment, 413, 52,213-900, capital outlay.
Okay.
So you have $36,000 right there.
And speaking of the SCADA telemetry, when do you think we could make that purchase?
We were initially gonna make that purchase before this, but this sampler come up, it's kind of higher priority at the moment.
I'll make a motion that we purchase 2 for $18,040.
So we have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Second. Any further discussion?
Yeah, I don't know, these options, you're not figuring that into 18,000?
Do they have to have Florida training?
No,
$12,000.
no, that's just options, it's part of that quote. We're replacing the same sampler that's there now.
We don't need any of these options?
No.
Were these samplers that went out, Corey, were they put in when that place was rehabbed?
Actually, they probably were.
So they're not, but
They're not very old. There's a copy or a picture of the old one.
6, maybe 7 years old?
Yeah. Now, the thing is, I mean, yeah, that's why they're encased in those. I mean, they're an outdoor sampler.
Is this something the state mandates us to have? If we
As
don't
far
have
as
it,
those
we're
samples.
out there.
They don't mandate you have this particular one, but you are required to do those samples on a daily basis.
There's no compensation for it, mandatory, let's have it.
No. Not that I'm aware of.
Not taking the sewer plant.
Is that the best they could do on the freight?
Now, I'm not aware of that, well, that's for both of them as well. But that, I mean, that's something that we can check in.
This thing's kind of high.
You know what these things weigh? Yeah, $676.
You ain't practically in that ship.
200 pounds each.
What they come in,
200?
Yeah.
more than Nebraska. So what do we do with these samples then? You test them, throw them away, we do it again next month, or?
Well, if you look at the picture right there, they take composite samples, they take a sample of the water comes through at different times throughout the day. And then it runs those samples.
It's not like the guy comes to my house and gets a sample, no?
No, this is at the sewer plant.
And I'll put the freight in perspective, okay? I just bought a 1-ton truck out of Wisconsin It's a salt snow plow truck, okay, to help our town, that I bought with my money, $35,000. Okay, and I just paid $2,000 to have it freighted there to me. So that's from Wisconsin, this is from Nebraska. That's probably not too bad of a rate.
Is it on the way, or can we pile that on top of it?
Yeah.
Your truck?
Yeah. So,
Pick it up.
Who do these samples go to, or how do these
Run them
samples?
in-house.
yeah, we do.
Everything's run in-house.
But I mean, we have to make a report to somebody.
You do. It'll go to TDEC.
TDEC.
Just like I submit the water treatment reports, sewer treatment plans.
So this has to go to TDEC as well. I mean, I'm sure it's required.
Which one of the ones is out? The middle one or the two of them? One of them does one thing, one does another, right?
Well, they're the same. You've got an influent and then your effluent, one on the front and the back end. You've got to have two.
You're cross-contaminated.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So we just not using anything now?
No, they're there. I mean, we're using them just the one store up. So I mean, it's kind of an emergency purchase.
If it goes down, we're very, very bad.
How long will it take to get these here?
I'm not sure about that.
2 to 4 weeks estimated. After receipt of order.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I see it there. Estimated shipments, that doesn't mean it'll be here
No, it's,
after the snowstorm we just had.
don't send it UPS.
All right, motion, second, discussion. Any further discussion? Roll call, Joe.
Robert Miller,
Yes, sir.
Jeff Bass,
Yes.
Kenny Brown,
Yes.
Teresa Van Hook,
Yes.
Terry Holland.
Yes.
All right. All in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Awesome.